Hi, I'm Denise Cooper from Royal Installation. So we're going to do a leak.
Where do most of the serious electrical dangers hide in a home? It's not just in the consumer unit. It's in the places where you are most vulnerable. The bathroom, the garden, and those little outbuildings people love turning into home offices or man caves. We're exploring EICR testing in special locations. By the end, you'll know what to check in bathrooms, gardens, and outbuildings, which regulation backs it up, how to code the issues, and most importantly, how to explain your findings to the client without drowning them in jargon. This is part 4 of our Student Spark series, so grab your test kit because we're going deep. Section 1, Bathrooms. Let's start in the bathroom, the most high-risk area. BS 7671, Section 701, gives us bathroom zones. Zone 0, inside the bath or shower. Zone 1, above that up to 2.25 metres. Zone 2, 0.6 metres outside. Why do zones matter? Because water and electricity don't mix. Steam, condensation and splashes massively increase the risk of shock. During an EICR, here's what you look for. Are fittings IP rated correctly? Zone 1 fittings should be at least IPX4. Common IP ratings for UK bathrooms are IP20, IP44, IP65 and IP67, with IP44 being the standard for most general lighting outside of very wet areas due to its splash protection. IP44, the minimum recommended rating for most bathrooms, providing protection against splashes from any direction. It's suitable for general lighting in zones 1 and 2 and outside the zones. IP20 offers basic protection against touching and some dust, but is not suitable for bathrooms due to its lack of water protection. IP65 protects against water jets from any direction. It's ideal for areas with more direct exposure to water, such as over a shower. IP67 provides protection against immersion in water. This is required for fixtures in Zone 0, the area inside the bath or shower. Is the bathroom circuit RCD protected? That's a regulation must. Residual current devices, RCDS, are now mandatory in bathroom circuits as they provide protection against electric shock by disconnecting the power supply if leakage current is detected. These devices offer rapid response times, usually cutting off power within milliseconds. All electrical circuits serving a bathroom location, including lighting and power circuits, must have RCD protection with a trip current not exceeding 30 milliamps. Are main primary bonding present and ADS met? Or is it designed properly? If main protective bonding is present, to water, gas, etc., and ADS, automatic disconnection of supply, is met, supplementary bonding is not required. This is common in modern installations with RCD protection and proper bonding. If you cannot confirm ADS or main bonding, supplementary bonding must be installed in the bathroom. This means linking together exposed conductive parts like metal light fittings, towel rails, extraneous conductive parts like copper pipes. This equalises potential and reduces shock risk. When it comes to conductor sizing, if the bonding is buried in walls, the minimum is 4 square millimetres copper. If it's not buried, then 2.5 square millimetres with mechanical protection is acceptable, or 4 square millimetres if no protection is used, as set out in BS 7671 Table 54.8. Are shaver sockets installed correctly and in the right location? When we're inspecting a bathroom, another point to check is the shaver socket. First, is it the right type? Only a BSEN 61558 shaver supply unit is permitted. That means it's an isolating transformer-type socket designed to safely power shavers and toothbrush chargers. Second, is it in the right location? According to BS 7671, shaver sockets are allowed in zones 2 and outside. They must be at least 0.6 metres horizontally from the edge of the bath or shower, and definitely not inside zone 1. Also, it's worth checking the unit is securely installed, free from cracks or damage, and that it's supplied by a correctly protected circuit. Example 1. I once saw a pendant light hanging directly above a bath. That's a C2 every time because the IP rating is nowhere near safe. Example 2. In another bathroom, the fan was in zone 1 but had no RCD on the circuit. The reg is crystal clear. That's a C2. Code summary. Missing RCD equals C2. Wrong IP rating in zone 1 or 2 equals C2. Missing bonding equals C2 or FI if you can't confirm continuity. Slight wear and tear, like a loose pull cord, might just be C3. How to explain to a client. It might look like just a normal light above your bath, but if steam or water makes its way inside, that metal part could become live. Without an RCD, there's nothing to cut the supply quickly enough, and the shock could be fatal. Section 2. Gardens. Let's move outside. Garden installations are a minefield for EICR because of weather exposure and, let's be honest, dodgy DIY jobs. What do you check in gardens? Outdoor sockets. Are they IP rated, undamaged and closing properly? Are they protected by an RCD or RCBO? Cables feeding garden lights, are they buried at least 600mm deep, or are they surface run in proper SWA cable? For garden lights, cables should be buried at least 600mm deep with marker tape above. If they're not buried, they must be run in steel wire armoured SWA cable, which gives both mechanical protection and an earth path. If cables are just clipped direct or ordinary twin and earth is used outside, that's non-compliant. Look for water ingress, broken seals or corroded terminals. Example 1. I tested a garden socket where water had seeped in. Insulation resistance measured in the kilo ohm range instead of mega ohms. That's a clear C2. Example 2. Another garden had lights strung across trees, powered from an indoor extension led through a cracked window. That's a C1, exposed live parts and immediate danger. Code summary. Cracked outdoor socket with water ingress equals C2. No RCD equals C2. Extension leads as permanent supply equals C1. Wear and tear, like faded casing, but still safe equals C3. How to explain to a client. Your garden socket looks fine when it's dry, but when it rains, water gets inside. That can make the case live. Imagine plugging your phone in while standing on wet grass. You could get a shock straight through your shoes. Section 3. Outbuildings. Finally, let's check the outbuildings. Sheds, garages and home offices. These are popular for EICR surprises because people often extend electrics themselves. What do we check? Is the outbuilding fed by a proper submain with the right cable size and protective device? Has the earthing system been extended properly? Is bonding carried across if needed? Any signs of borrowed neutrals or shared circuits? Example 1. I inspected a shed running on a 1.0 square millimetre flex taken through a drilled hole in the wall. That's nowhere near safe. C2, maybe even C1. Example 2. A garage had a proper submain, but the armour of the SWA wasn't glanded correctly, just taped up. That's a C2. Example 3. In a summer house, they'd installed a little two-way CU, but with no RCD. Everything looked professional until you tested. That's an automatic C2. Code summary. No RCD on outbuilding CU equals C2. Undersized cable equals C2. Improper earthing equals C2. Temporary supplies used as permanent equals C1. How to explain to a client. Yes, your shed lights work, but they're being powered through a flex that's thinner than the cable on your kettle. It's fine for one bulb, but not for multiple sockets and heaters. That overload could cause a fire. So, bathrooms, gardens, and outbuildings. 3 places where you'll find some of the most serious issues during an EICR. Here are the golden rules. In bathrooms, zones and RCD are non-negotiable. In gardens, weatherproofing and proper installation methods are key. In outbuildings, only a properly designed supply counts. As an inspector, your role is not just ticking boxes. It's spotting risks, applying the regs, coding correctly, and making sure your client understands the why behind your report. That's it for part 4 of the Student Spark series. If this helped you, let me know in the comments. What's the worst bathroom, garden or shed fail you've seen? And hit like, subscribe. Until next time, keep sparking knowledge.